Welcome back. It's Amy. What we're going to talk about today are lapses. And lapses are part of your relapse prevention model, but they are not to be confused with a relapse. A lapse does not mean it's all over. You have not screwed up completely yet. However, if you don't recognize a lapse and deal with it, then you can slide right into a relapse. Today, I am going to give you some interventions to deal with a lapse. All right? There are really basically five interventions that I'm going to give you. The first one is to identify your precursors. This is really very important because many things can be anticipated and circumvented. Learn the precursors in your cycle. Just identifying that you're going through a lapse is not enough. These precursors are warning signals, and you need to identify yours and how to respond to them. As I've said, please do not see a lapse as a failure. See it as an opportunity, because it really is an opportunity to engage in some of your self-management skills and learn from your mistakes before a relapse happens. Afterwards, analyze things so you can go over how did I handle this, and then you can do it even better next time. Lapses are not a one-time thing. They never are, and they are expected. So maybe if you accept that first, then you're on the right path. Now, I'm going to give you some risk factors or some precursors, some things to look out for. All right, pornography use, coercing a victim with drugs, taking off work without a reason, allowing yourself to be bored, picking up a hitchhiker. I know people don't do that much. Masturbating to abusive fantasies, obtaining items to bind a victim, dancing with intoxicated women or men, talking about sex with victim, hitchhiking yourself, roadside rest areas, nude swimming areas, not sure where those are, going to playgrounds, staring at crotches, employing potential victims, staying in a known lapse, feeling inferior to your partner, topless bars or strip joints, hanging around restrooms, looking at people as sex objects, poor communication, depression, lack of empathy, low self-esteem, rushing into relationships, emotionally isolating yourself, drug abuse or drinking, negative self-statements, unemployment, unexpressed anger or feelings, dishonesty, role-playing, fear of rejection, passivity, overworking, lack of leisure time, abusive sexual fantasies, distress, misreading social cues, compartmentalizing, or ending a relationship. Any of those can be precursors and that are high risk to you. All right. The second way that you can intervene with a lapse is stimulus control procedures. We covered that in the last video. Remove any stimuli in your environment that might get in the way of your self-control. For sex offenders, delete porn from that computer. I don't know, get rid of the computer if you have to. Don't go to strip clubs. Don't hang out in places that are going to trigger you sexually. Know what triggers you. You know what triggers you. Easy terms to understand. Here we go. You want to lose weight? Don't have a house full of chips and cookies. It's the same kind of thing, all right? Get rid of what you know will trigger you. All right. Avoidance strategies. Number 3, avoid certain circumstances that you know may elicit a relapse. An example, look at the people who you hang out with. Do they live a clean life? Are they living the kind of life you want to live? Or are they your old friends doing the same old thing, living a kind of life that you need to avoid? All right? Escape strategies. Number 4. Look, you cannot plan every last detail of your life 100%, right? You can try, but it won't work. Escape strategies have to be used when you find yourself in a high-risk situation, whether you anticipated it or not, which you should have, but if you didn't, you need escape strategies. You're at a party, for example. Maybe you shouldn't have gone. You should have probably anticipated that. But whether you should have been there or not, you're there, and now things are starting to heat up. Someone has drugs, people are drinking too much, things there are maybe turning to a sexual nature. You need to bolt. Look, the effectiveness of an escape strategy has to do with the speed in which you use it, not with the grace that you use it. In other words, your exit may not be always pretty or socially perfect, but it needs to be done. Leave any high-risk situation and leave quickly. Drive away, walk away, call someone, call an Uber, but get the hell out of a high-risk situation and screw anyone who doesn't like it. This is about you. Number 5, programmed coping responses. Again, I gave you the definition of this in the last video. These are pre-planned, programmed responses to high-risk situations. It's having a plan. And if this happens, I'm going to do this. All right? Think of a high-risk situation that you might be in. Brainstorm about what you might do in that situation. Evaluate the likely outcome of doing what your plan is. And estimate your ability to put this plan into play. Practice it. Practice this plan if you need to. Practice it in your head. Ask for feedback if you need to. Drill it into your head what you plan to do in a high-risk situation so you are never unprepared. Pretty soon, your plan will become natural and intuitive. But it will take some work. All right? Next time, we're going to talk about how to prevent a lapse from becoming a relapse. Until next time, please subscribe. Get in touch with me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or right here on this channel. And until I see you next time, be well.